is breaking news from Fox 59 News.
That a Marion County Court judge will ultimately make the determination, the decision as to whether or not this individual should be tried as a juvenile in juvenile court or as an adult in adult court. And so we have initiated that process today. Because we're beginning this process in juvenile court, oftentimes in these situations, we're able to provide a probable cause affidavit. Today we're not able to do that because this is in juvenile court. And until or unless this individual is waived to adult court, that would be the only time that we'd be able to provide the probable cause affidavit. Just a couple of notes about the investigation in this case. We are dealing with a 14-year-old who had never previously been arrested, who had never previously been charged with a crime, which sometimes presents challenges in the sense of we were trying to identify someone, and we did not have a known photograph. We did not have fingerprints. We certainly did not have DNA. And this was a case of just IMPD going out there and following up on every single investigative lead that they had to be able to be in a position to identify the person that we were ultimately able to charge and who was arrested on Wednesday. So I give a ton of credit to Chief Adams and his team for all the work that they put into this to be in a position to identify this individual. As I mentioned, this person had never been arrested or charged, and there was already, unfortunately, a lot of commentary on what this case represents and what this case means. And I think it's just, there were little or no facts available to people. Certainly nobody knew anything about the accused, including their age or their criminal history. Yet there was a lot of people who were very willing to assign blame to who was responsible for this incident. And the reality is we have a 14-year-old who has never been charged, who has never been arrested, who is currently being charged with murder. That is not a reflection of anything other than this individual's choices and the fact that it is way too easy for people in this community who are young to have access to firearms. And when we have a conversation about the problems that this case presents, we need to be serious and honest about what the problem is. And the problem is that too many kids have access to guns in our community. And with that, I'll turn it over to Chief Adams.
Thank you, Prosecutor Mears. As Prosecutor Mears spoke to earlier, this is a very tragic case for our community, our agency, and all the folks that do work in our community to prevent this kind of thing. I'd like to just acknowledge a few folks from IMPD that worked really hard on this case to bring it to the conclusion that we see here today. And again, as Prosecutor Mears alluded to, this is just the beginning of the process for the victim's family. So Detective Dave Miller was the lead detective in this case. He worked tirelessly with DPA and Frangos. Detective Miller and Frangos worked probably the last 72 hours trying to shore up the case to be presented to the prosecutor in hopes of a successful prosecution. That work happens every day with our screeners and our detectives, but this particular case, again, they worked the last 72 hours trying to shore up everything that they could in the probable cause affidavit. I'd like to recognize our Violent Crimes Unit and United States Marshal Service. They worked to apprehend the individual that was alleged of this crime, and then 24 hours later, they apprehend the downtown shooter, less than 24 hours. So again, that team does a great job of apprehending some of our city's most dangerous individuals, and I'd like to recognize them in this case as well. Our digital forensic unit and our video forensic unit worked tirelessly with Detective Miller, downloading phones, looking at video, to be able to support Detective Miller in his probable cause affidavit. Our real-time crime center and our analyst worked extremely hard to provide Detective Miller the information that he needed in these cases. Detective Miller's chasing down individuals, chasing down statements from witnesses, and he needs the support of our real-time crime center and our analysts to be able to look at that video that may be coming in, that community may be providing or businesses may be providing, to try to sift through what's important. And so I would like to acknowledge them. And then our victim assistance unit, who provided support to the family. I talked to the family last night. Prosecutor Mears also talked to the family. And again, just a tragedy and the amount of grief that they are feeling right now. I also was there when the alleged suspect was brought in and talked to Detective Miller. Certainly tragedy there as well. Lastly, I'd just like to acknowledge that sometimes in events like this, a community, we can all be looking for answers, and certainly that is the right thing we need to be doing, as Chief Terry talked about yesterday. But I would like to encourage our community-based organizations who do the work every day. This is a setback for all of us, truly is a setback, but we have to continue to fight. And I know that those community-based organizations are out there every day doing this kind of work, and I would like to keep encouraging them to continue to do the work. We need your help, as Chief Terry talked about heading into this summer. This should be an alert for all of us that we have to do more, and we have to provide the resources to do more. And we as a police department, we as prosecutor's office, I can't speak for Prosecutor Mears, but I know he's committed to that kind of work. So community-based organizations, stay encouraged. We will get through this.
Any questions?
Anything you can say about the motive? Was this a carjacking?
So I guess to be real specific about our language, carjacking, not a statutory crime, not a standalone crime. The allegation here is armed robbery, and the taking is of the vehicle of the car.
Prosecutor Mears, you talked about all the guns in the community, but people are going to say there's lots of Hoosier kids that have access to weapons that don't pick them up and certainly don't use them in the commission of a crime. You're talking about guns being the problem. What if somebody says, well, we're the parents? What would you say to that?
I would completely agree.
Any word on the timeline we can expect as it comes to the waiver hearing to adult court?
Yeah, so these waiver hearings, certainly it's driven a lot by the defense and kind of what's the level of the background investigation that they're going to conduct on an individual. A lot of times they rely on expert reports and really want to do a deep dive. In the last probably 2 months, I think we've had 3 successful waiver petitions that were granted for individuals who were less than 16 years of age at the time of the offense. All of those averaged about a year. Is what it took before the court was ultimately in a position to offer a conclusion as to whether or not those individuals should be waived. So it's always dangerous to put a timeline on things, but if recent history's any indication, it would be probably around a year.
Were two other suspects involved in, or 2 other young men involved in this attempted robbery, and will they face any charge?
Well, we've only got 1 individual who's charged right here, right now. I think the important thing, as Chief Adams talked about, is this is, relatively speaking, a very new and recent investigation, and there's still a lot more that needs to be done. There's still a lot more that could be done and can be done. And so when you do an evaluation of a case like this, I think you're looking at everybody's who is involved in this process and what role did they actually play. For us, I think everybody right now, the preliminary focus was who do we believe to be the individual who's going to be charged with a knowing murder, meaning the individual who was responsible for pulling the trigger. What allegation and what person is that going to follow? And I think that was the initial step in the investigation, and now I think you're expanding beyond that.
How did the conversation with the family
I
go?
guess for me, I want to keep that private, but I just want to say, I'm constantly and consistently just impressed when I meet people who are going through just these unimaginable tragedies and the level of dignity and grace that they carry themselves with, and their graciousness in having conversations with us about these issues, about what the next steps are. And it really just hits home how truly special this family was when you're able to have those conversations, and they are just so incredibly gracious in their willingness to share with you. And I know, Chief, you spoke to him as well.
Where did the kid get the gun from?
I don't think at this point in time we can talk about that.
All right, so you say it's guns, but you also agree it's parental responsibility. So which does it fall along the lines of more of? Is it this kid's parents failing him, or is it his, wanting to commit a violent act with a gun? Is it the gun's fault that Mr. Scrogham is dead?
Here's the reality. I don't want to get into a larger issue or a larger conversation, because the takeaway from this is not necessarily related to your question. The takeaway from this is we've just charged a 14-year-old with murder, and we have a family who is grieving and going through just unimaginable pain, and they are looking for comfort and they are looking for justice, and that's where our energy and effort is.
Ryan, one of the questions I had for you was...
You've been listening to Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears along with IMPD Deputy Chief Kendall Adams, who's next to him. We've learning that the Marion County Prosecutor's Office is going to charge the 14-year-old with murder and the death of 23-year-old Brett Scrogham. We know he was a former IU student who had a promising future. What's
Right.
interesting about this is, Chelsea, during this news conference, is the prosecutor said this 14-year-old had no criminal history, never been arrested, no prior run-ins with police. He had access to a gun. He was young and had access to a gun.
And that was some of the conversation you just heard, a reporter asking, you know, was this more of his parents' fault or this kid just wanting to commit a horrific act as murder of Brett Scrogham, as we've mentioned, the 23-year-old who recently graduated from IU's Kelley School of Business. You're probably wondering, is this 14-year-old going to be charged as an adult? As of right now, the prosecuting attorney saying this is sitting in juvenile court,
Correct.
but they have filed a petition to waive it up to adult court. Now, with that said, that means they can't release the probable cause affidavit due to him at this time still being treated as a juvenile. But again, motions have been made to charge him as an adult with that murder charge that Daniel just mentioned. They're saying this was a carjacking. It was a robbery with the intent to take Scrogham's car that turned deadly for the 23-year-old.
What's interesting also, Deputy Chief Kendall Adams also talking about the work that the detective did. Detective Miller worked with a lot of people, including witnesses, to narrow down who this suspect was, this 14-year-old suspect was. Another interesting thing the prosecutor talked about was the Scrogham family.
Yes.
Talking with them and how stoic and how, you know, supportive they were with getting this information and being able to talk with them. He talked about how special they are, and we can also talk about the business where Scrogham was just starting to work. He, as we said, graduated from IU Kelley School of Business. IU will now have a new scholarship in his memory.
And that is being funded by the Kittle Property Family Foundation. Scrogham had just joined Kittle Property Group as a development analyst just 2 weeks before his death, beginning his career in real estate development. The new scholarship will be awarded annually to a student showing interest and achievement in real estate development or affordable housing. You can find all of our coverage on the case over on our website, fox59.com. We also have the full press conference. It will be there at some point today if it is not already uploaded on our website, so you can watch it in its entirety. Again, a 14-year-old who had never been arrested or charged with any crime, now facing a juvenile murder charge at this time for the death of Brett Scrogham.
We'll be right back.